Hello everyone, I'm Marius and welcome to Papers of Thought. I decided today to make a short but valuable video about people who want to start blogging, and maybe for people who are already blogging, writing articles, and just searching to better themselves and their writing style. So this is a video that will cover a couple of basics and some tips and tricks that I use when I write about Papers of Thought. So I will start with my way of doing things. Keep in mind, this is the way that I do it. It's a kind of basic way of doing things. Before I start an article, I research stuff. I make sure that my theme is crystal clear. If that isn't apparent to the reader, then you're probably gonna have a problem understanding where the article is going. And I've noticed that in many articles, when I read some of them, that the writers are really having trouble adjusting to the situation and the changes between paragraphs. So my number one tip is, when starting an article, just make sure you keep the theme clear. Make sure that the title is clear, that it is very understandable what you're trying to say. And sometimes, even if it's not understandable, just make sure you make the reader want to read the article. So number one is keep the theme clear. It's okay to make transitions and make adjustments, additions, so you can make the theme and the whole article more interesting. Just make sure you don't throw in a lot of fuzz. So theme crystal clear is number one. Number two is research. Before writing an article, just make sure you have all the sites you need, and if not, keep in mind that when we write, we're definitely gonna need some more extra ideas, thoughts, so it's always good to have a book or something with you. I know a lot of times when I write articles, and I'll give you a good example, that yesterday I wrote an article about books, the law of the 5 books that I keep, which is to read at least 5 books a year. And I cited the books that I've read already this year, and I had the books by my side. I didn't try to memorize everything, or I didn't try to remember everything that I have read. I just kept it by my side, and if I needed to add something when I wrote the article, I made sure to do that. I looked over, I saw what I needed to see. I didn't start rereading it, but I made sure that I had my sites and my research all figured out. It's always good to be prepared. Like any type of commitment and job, you need to be prepared and organized. So keep that in mind. So this is number two. Research and sites, keep them close. Have the tabs open on your Google Chrome, and just make sure everything is on point. So that's about the article writing, the preparation for it. When we start to write an article, and this is when we get into it, keep it basic. A lot of people, and I know I made this mistake a lot of times, is that they try to overcomplicate stuff. Keep it basic. Make sure you have found, or the title is inside the theme, what you want to write. I want to write about books, I'm making the title about books. Don't make it about how this book that I read made me want to become an astronaut, and make a article about a title about astronauts. It makes no sense. Keep it simple, keep it inside the content that you want to create. So keep it basic, the titles needs to be on point. I like to keep notes. I don't write paragraphs when I write notes, meaning that I have this big essay writing textbook that I keep, and I have actually made notes about the video as well. So make sure, if you like to keep notes and if they help you, keep them. I know that they keep me accountable, and when I write something on the computer, or just an essay for your university or something, I like to keep notes. They help me keep me accountable, and keep my mind into the right direction, because a lot of times when you write something, you tend to try to add too many stuff, and sometimes you don't really need that. Be on point. So I keep notes, and I make sure that my subtitles are very, as I said, clear. They prepare the reader for what they are about to read, and they keep them interested. So if somebody is actually scrolling through your article, even through their mobile device or their computer, they may not actually start reading from the top, and they just scroll down and they say something that they found interesting from a subtitle, and they may like that. So try to have a type of, try to cleanse them to the article, but your subtitles and everything needs to be clear and on point. You don't need to, you're not making a clickbait video and you need to have a clickbait title. Just make sure you're on point, you're a writer. It's a different type of art and a different type of seduction. So good writing needs to be as simple and as, I like to say, with good quality as possible. So that's the number one thing when you get into it, when you get into the article. We cover the preparation. Now just make sure when you're into it, keep it basic. Now, another thing that I like to do is I cite, and with the internet we have so many opportunities to cite things. I like to be truthful, that when I write something and I don't know something about it, I always make sure to research, and when I research and find something that is valuable and it's good to be added to the article, I make sure that I rewrite it in a way, don't copy it, but make sure you cite the site that you took it. So as a matter of fact, yesterday I took a small little three sentence paragraph from Goodreads, and I made sure I cited it. So that's number two. Number three is the apps that I use. Don't be fooled, I'm looking at my notes. The apps that I use are very basic. Some of you may know them, some of you may not, especially if you're new to it. I need to adjust myself, as you understand that I have a little bit of anxiety. I haven't made a video in a very long time, and if I had, I was still being anxious because I'm not very proficient to it yet. So first of all, I have a dictionary always open because I'm Greek, so I need it sometimes. I feel very confident in my ability to speak English, but sometimes we all stuck and we need a dictionary. So number one is dictionary. Number two is Thesaurus. Thesaurus is an amazing app or website in the internet that helps you find antonyms, synonyms, and different types of words about words you want to use, but you don't want to use them all the time, over and over again, because, come on, we all know when we overuse a word, it sounds very bad. And as writers, we sometimes, our creativity and our the way that the flow of the articles just requires different types of words. So Thesaurus. Number three is, I have Grammarly. I don't know if you have, there's a lot of ads in the internet right now about Grammarly, and a lot of people are actually word of mouthing it, but I guess I've been using it for about 2 years now. It's an amazing app. It's definitely helped me fix mistakes when I write. It's not perfect because it doesn't understand some of the way that you want to express certain types of sentences, so it's not always perfect. So don't always, use Grammarly like the autocorrection. Just make sure when you have your draft, go through it again with Grammarly. It does it automatically, so it's an amazing tool. It's definitely something you want to use, especially if you're starting out right now. Number four is about, number 4 and 5 is about photographs. So when photographs and types of, content, video and stuff. So when I actually want to upload an image that is very large, I tend to go to tinypng.com, which is an amazing tool as well, and just I don't know, circumcise the size of the photographs. So okay, I need to adjust myself again. It lowers I don't know if it lowers actually the quality a lot, but it definitely lowers the kilobyte per image, and it's great because it doesn't add too much space to your library on your website. And you know, if you have an actual website for a long time, you know how important and valuable size is. So tinypng.com is definitely a great tool. Number 5 is Unsplash or Unsplash. I don't know the exact pronunciation, but it is an amazing website with free, high quality, high resolution images. I know that I've used it a lot, especially in the build-up of the website when I needed content and I needed to, let's say, add photographs on categories about certain articles. It's a lifesaver. I will have everything listed in the description below, so if you need to find something, just click on the description and you'll find all the links. So that's about the way of writing. To really close it about the inside the article, I would like to say that definitely keep the paragraphs the way you want it to be. Don't make it short or very long. Depending on the theme you want to write like that. Don't say that you need to be above 1,000 words or 5,000 words just because of it. A theme needs to be open and closed when the time has come. So if you feel that an article is overextending or is short, try to adjust it in a way that the reader can actually read it, and it's very, very good to be reader friendly, user friendly, whatever you want to call it. It's very important that you keep the customer very well served. So yeah, I guess that's all about it. I don't like to spend too much time with it, because I do advise people to get down and dirty when they're writing, because I've been blogging now for, I don't like the word blog, I like the word write, but whatever you feel comfortable with. I've been doing it for the past 4 years, since I was a teenager, 16 years old, and 5, I guess. And I do know that I've learned a lot through the process. I didn't necessarily watch many tips and tricks, but it's very important that you go through the experience alone. And to me, this is experience. I'm offering you my experience. I'm definitely not a perfect writer. I'm actually very far from it, but I'm sharing with you what I've learned and I use to actually become a better writer. So that's about it, and I will close this with a couple of tips and tricks that I use when writing. So if you want to learn more about what I'm going to discuss right now, just go make sure you follow one of the links about the YouTube channels that I'll have below. Don't get distracted. So when we write, we're in the process of it, and for about 5 minutes we're really into it, and after 5 minutes we may be really out of it because we don't know what to write next. Don't make the mistake to get distracted by opening up your phone and searching something on social media, on Facebook, on something. They tend to get us very distracted, and if you want to really understand more about it, watch a Cold Fusion video, or I don't remember the exact people who made it, but I will have it listed below on the effects of social media and our productivity. I think it's what I've learned. Yeah, that's the channel. So the productivity needs to be, you're an artist when writing. So make sure you keep yourself distracted. Don't get distracted at all. I fall into this mistake 1,000 times when I'm really not feeling it and I'm opening an app on social media and just magically something happens that I don't want to write anymore, and it's okay to be on social media, which is not. So don't get distracted, try to be 100% there, and that leads me to my next point, which is take breaks. Take clear breaks. You write for about half an hour, and then you need to get a coffee break, or you need to take a piss, and just be away from your computer or your textbook or whatever for 5, 10, 30 minutes, whatever it needs to be. It's the same way that it's a tactic that I apply when I read for university exams, and I want to read a lot, meaning that I read 10 to 15 hours per day. Make sure you take your break. It's very important that you take your break, because you need to keep yourself rejuvenated at times. And of course, when writing a lot and reading a lot, our brains get very full of information, and maybe full of drained out of creativity. So make sure you take your breaks, and that's about it. Other stuff that you may want to keep in mind is caffeine and other stimulants. I know they work very well about certain types of writers. Coffee definitely helps. It had helped me in the past, but it jacks me up way too much to use it every single time that I write. So I try to keep away from stimulants, and I rely on my natural energy. As you probably see, sometimes I am overexcited about stuff. That's why I'm making mistakes when I'm making videos and articles. So use what works for you, and I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated. Like when we write, and I know it. Whatever I'm actually sharing with you right now, it's from experience. Keep hydrated. Your brain needs it, your body needs it, and it's really gonna thank you later. So keep hydrated, take your breaks, don't get distracted by social media and your phone ringing all the same time. You need to be calm, you need to be in the zone when you write. Feel like you are actually an artist, somebody who's actually creating art. So quality art needs to be quality work. Come prepared, and let's take it up from the beginning. Research. Make sure your theme is clear, your content is on point. Keep it basic. Your titles, your notes, your subtitles, your paragraphs needs to be the way you want it to be, but don't keep it not too long, not too short, on point. Cite what you need to cite. Don't be a copycat, I guess. I'm telling you that because part of my blogging experience in the first 1 and 2 years, I was only a copycat. I just copied whatever I liked and added a couple of words, and it really wasn't anything, but I'm telling you from experience. So that's number 3. Number 4 is apps. The apps will be all listed in the description below. They're very helpful, and if you have recommendation about apps, I'm always open to use more, because they actually help me in my writing experience. And number 5 is my tips and tricks, which is stay away from social media, take breaks when you need to, and make sure you keep hydrated. And coffee and stimulants are all your options, and your whatever you prefer, I guess. Yeah, so this is Marius. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you find it valuable. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I guess more videos coming soon. Thank you very much. Have a good day.